Hey, welcome back to Food According to El Roca. So today we're making some hot cross buns because it's Easter. We need some of these. So you are going to start by putting, as you can see, the ingredients. I'm going to put them in the description box. And then you're going to put your flour in there first. I used 6 cups of flour, and it's going to give me about 16 buns, but it can be more or less. It depends. And then you're going to put your yeast in there, a little bit of salt, some sugar in there, and then we're going to put some ground cinnamon, and then I also put some mixed spice. I think you can also call it allspice or mixed spice, so I used this one by Robertson's, so that's the one I used. And then I put some lemon zest in there, about 1 to 2 orange zest, and then I put some raisins, about 2 cups of that, and then the fruit flakes. I cut them a little bit so that they are smaller, and then I put them in there. But it's something optional. You don't have to do that, but they add something in there. And then I put some softened butter and the mixture, and then I'm going to start first by mixing it with my hand, with a spatula, so that everything comes together before I start putting in the warm milk and warm water mix. So I mix some warm water and milk, and then it has to be warm so that we can activate the yeast. So make sure it is warm. Don't put cold milk and water in there, it won't activate the yeast. And then you're gonna put that in a little bit at the time until you get this consistency, so you can check and make sure that it is at this consistency, a little bit sticky, as you can see. And then you mix it thoroughly before you mix it with your hand. I mixed it with a spatula first, and then from there I started mixing it with my hands. So at this point it's very sticky. It mustn't scare you because we are going to put it on a floured surface. Make sure you put it on a floured surface. So I put flour on a surface, and then I'm going to start kneading it a little bit. So while I'm kneading it, I'm also incorporating some of the flour into the mixture until it gets to a point where it's no longer sticky. That's but don't put too much flour. Like I think about half a cup will do or so. So you're just gonna incorporate the flour into while you are busy kneading it, so that it ends up not being sticky. As you can see there, you can see now it's no longer sticky. And then you're gonna knead it a little bit, and then after kneading it, and then we just gonna I put a little bit of oil. So I sprinkled some oil on top, and then I incorporated the oil in there. So it's just to cover it so that it doesn't stick to my hands. And then I incorporated some of the oil in there while I prepare to put it in a oiled bowl, and then covering it, putting it in a warm surface so that it can rise. So I'm gonna put it aside to rise. It's gonna take about 30 to 40 minutes, depends how warm your surface is. So if it's really cold outside, I usually warm up my oven and then switch it off when it's nice, the right temperature, and then I put it in there, covering it with a towel or something, and then it rises like that. After it has risen, as you can see, I take it out, and then I'm going to take it out of the bowl and put it on a surface just to knead it a little bit, and then I'm gonna start cutting it. So after doing this, as you can see, I'm just gonna put it in a sort of like a log shape, and then I'm going to start cutting it into those make the buns now. So it's about 16. I made 16 buns, but it depends on how what size you are making. So but this one yielded about 16, so it's up to you. So I'm gonna cut it like that. So I measured first before I started cutting, so that it gives me the correct amount, so that the buns are at least the same size or something. So, and then I folded, so my hands are oiled a little bit, so that it's easier to work with the dough. And also the dough, remember, I put some oil on it, so it's easier to work with this way. And then I did that, and then as you can see, These are the sizes I'm just showing you. You can, decide which sizes you're gonna make. And then when I'm rolling, I'm making the balls. I sort of like fold them to the inside at the bottom. Fold it to the inside at the bottom. That's how I do it. And then I'm gonna put all of those in there. And then, as you can see there on my baking tray, I'm leaving a little bit of space there, as you can see, in between the rolls. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm gonna put them aside. Before I put this in the oven, I'm gonna put it aside a little bit so that it rises a little bit. Or you see, it rises a little bit. I'm gonna put it aside, and then I'm gonna cover it, put it aside. While that is happening, I'm gonna make the paste. The paste is just made of flour and water. It's a paste that we're gonna make the crosses, because this is the hot cross buns. We're making the crosses on top, and I used a disposable piping bag, and then I put the mixture in there. As you can see, the consistency is very thick, but at least it's manageable. So I put it in a glass, and then I put the mixture in there, and then I snipped the piping bag at the front so that I can pipe it onto the rolls. So this mixture is very simple. Just flour, just normal flour, and some water, and then you just mix it like this. So you'll see the consistency. Just make enough so that it cover it. It can cover all your rolls that you have made. And then from there, we're gonna take the rolls as they have risen just a little bit. As you can see, that space disappeared, the space that was in between the rolls. So you make the crosses. That's all you do. Make the crosses on top of the rolls, and then from there we're gonna put it into the oven. We're gonna put it into the oven, 180. I think it's about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, depends. Once they start browning on top, you take them out. And then I made a glaze. The glaze is made out of apricot jam and hot water. I put some hot water so that the jam can dissolve, and then you dissolve the jam, apricot jam, and then from there, while they're still hot, you're gonna put the glaze on top. You must do it while they're still hot from the oven, and then you glaze them up so that they look shiny and nice and beautiful. And they were so delicious, I promise you. So the allspice, the cinnamon, the smell in the kitchen, it's delicious. And the zest and the fruit flakes, raisins, all of those flavors in there, they are so delicious. And as you can see, the amount of sugar that I put there, if you want to reduce it, you can, but they won't. If you like them sweeter, you can add a little bit more sugar. It depends on you. And I always eat mine with some butter. They are so delicious with just butter, or you can also add some cheese on top. Maybe sprinkle some cheese and the butter. It's so delicious. Make them, and please tell me how you find this recipe and how yours came out. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and join us again for the next video that we're going to be posting. And thank you so much for coming back and watching this video.